Ball is caught by Bellinger. What a catch!
With a world heavyweight title line in the balance.
You are now listening to Jocks and Geeks with J&P. Let's go.
Yo, this is Jocks and Geeks with J&P. Today we're going to be covering the Week 8 NFL. Make sure also you subscribe to us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. At 50 subscribers, we're going to be giving away a free Funko Pop. So let's go ahead and bring us in. I am the P in the J&P podcast. Make sure you follow us, or follow me at AlienPStar88 on Twitter and on Instagram. And this is the J in the J&P podcast. Where can we find you?
Hey yo, you can find me at J Hill on Twitter. Let's get right into it, baby. A lot of doing. So we're already in week 8. Half the season's already been in the books. So without wasting any time, Pete, let's get right into it, man. I'll start off. Quick observations from the weekend. Go ahead, Pete.
I mean, obviously, the standouts are the two undefeated teams. We got the San Francisco 49ers and we got the New England Patriots. Obviously, the New England Patriots, they've been playing a Conference USA league. Basically, every team that they're playing, they're destroying. It's embarrassing.
You can only play the teams on your your schedule. You know. It's not San Francisco though. I knew that they'd be better this season, but I did not see this coming. We literally have been saying this for the last 3 shows we've done, and now here they are at 7-0 and rolling. That division alone with, once again, Seattle, San Francisco, and now that the Rams made that trade, they won the last 2 in a row.
Yeah.
A few things right off the bat that I noticed. I know we're week 8. Teams are now separating in the pack. We're now starting to see who's going to be doing what, who's going to be pretty much rolling. And the NFC, we definitely know NFC North, NFC West, and NFC South. For the most part, the South's got a couple. NFC East, not so much.
Yeah.
So we can honestly, at this point, go on a limb and say that the winner of the NFC East will the only team representing the NFC East. What do you think?
I mean, the way everything is going, it looks like the Cowboys are going to be the oil that rises up in the water.
They're only one game ahead of
Philly. They're only one game, but
half a game actually. Technically.
But if you think about it too, we're that one game, we beat them. We've 3-0 in the NFC East, so we can't sugarcoat anything. They are the top of the NFC East. Now, obviously, we were on the Cowboys were on a bye this week. They did pick up Michael Bennett.
What do you think?
I personally think that it's going to help us out either way. Today they were trying to make a trade for the Adams, the safety from the Jets. It fell through because they wanted 1 first-round pick with 2 other first-round for 2 second-rounders, and the Cowboys weren't going to pull the trigger on it.
My concern with the Michael Bennett move is Michael Bennett if we're talking about Michael Bennett 2 years ago, even that, maybe possibly last year when it was Philly, but my concern with that pickup is you have, in my opinion, well, not really my opinion, most people, arguably the best coach in the history of the game, and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And the best system in New England that they run, okay? Knowing that the Cowboys are on their schedule in about 3 weeks or so.
Yes.
They literally said, we don't care. We're going to go ahead and trade you to the Cowboys, which we see. That tells me that if Bill Belichick and the Patriots basically gave him away to a team they're going to see in a few weeks, that tells me that in all reality, I don't even think there's anything left in Michael Bennett, to be honest with you. I don't even know.
The rumor that happened that started off this whole thing is that he got in a fight with the defensive coordinator. The reason why is he wanted more playing time. They told him no. They got in a confrontation, and basically he got suspended 1 game. And then when he came back from suspension, they basically said, we're shipping you out to Dallas. Now, Michael Bennett is a player who has won Super Bowls with the Patriots last year. He won it with Seattle, and I think he won it with someone else. He has the talent to win. Now, is he going to be a talent where...
He hasn't produced, though. He hasn't all season.
But, I mean, it doesn't matter. When you're not getting playing time, how are you supposed to produce?
I don't know. I mean, I just don't think it's a good... The only reason I go back to is, again, they literally said, here you go for nothing with Michael Bennett. Now, I may be in the minority. Maybe you guys are right. I mean, maybe a change of scenery. The Cowboys obviously need the help at defensive end just because They're not getting any production there,
No.
so maybe. But I just think Michael. I don't think it's a good move.
I have a feeling that they're gonna try using Michael inside and outside, just because of the fact that obviously DeMarcus Lawrence, he is mainly outside. He hasn't been getting the pressure, and I understand that. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. If you put Michael Bennett on that line, you know that once he gets to that line they're gonna start double teaming him. In return, it's gonna free up other players. Now, with that being said, we can't really judge it until it happens. Obviously, they had last week to prep him because they were on a bye. This week they're full bore. They're going practice. He's been at practice. One thing I know they brought up is he going to stand for the national anthem? Jason Garrett said he's standing. Plain and simple. You're going to America's team. Obviously,
I think at this point that's a little bit. I mean, it's pretty much in the past. So. The Cowboys, just being that they're Dallas, they're the Cowboys. Of course, they get the notoriety, they get the attention.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They start off the bye against the Giants. Should be a win against them, another division win for them. But it's mid-season, Pat. Yo, P, here's the thing. Some observations after half the season, in my opinion. Some stuff right off the bat that jump out to me. I don't want to call the Cowboys underachievers or overachievers because... Let's face it, they're right where they're going to be.
Yeah.
A game over 500 because it's what they are. It's who they are. It's who they are. They're always a 500 team, but that's where they were going to be. No, biggest things for me, here's a couple of the biggest things after half the season. The Pat Mahomes injury, right?
yes, which he'll be back probably not this week, but next week.
Drew Brees is back, right?
Yes.
And how about this one for you? Let me pose this to you. Should J.J. Watt just hang it up?
Yeah, Honestly, after that, the third injury?
3 out of 4 seasons now.
See, and it's funny because the last time that the Astros won a championship, that was the year that Deshaun Watson got hurt towards ACL. They had to sacrifice another star so that the Astros can win another World Series.
Yeah,
and
you know what?
It's
They're going
J.J.
Game
Watt.
7. Funny you mentioned that. Well, but no, in all honesty though, I think he should probably consider retiring just because it's now 3 out of 4 seasons where he won't even finish the season.
Yep.
We're halfway through the season.
Yep.
He's done for the year. MVPs, you gotta just kind of look around the league. But before we even get into that, since we're talking about mid-season, I know you got a couple of in mind that you want to throw out. Biggest surprises up. I know who you have. You can talk about a couple of things, couple of teams, individuals. But before I do that, I'll go negative just because I'm the heel of the show. So I'm gonna go with the biggest disappointment of the season so far. I'm not gonna say the Browns because, in my opinion, the Browns were. You know what? I know they were hyped up, but I wasn't buying into them. There was too much going into it.
Yeah.
For me, I would take it in the chin. My biggest disappointment up to this point, half the season, is my own team. It's the Bears. For 3 reasons, man. Last year it gave us a lot of enthusiasm and hope as far as fans goes that they were going to take a leap forward. Mitch was going to take that step, the next step. With that defense to match it, we were going to have a balanced running attack between Tariq Cohen and we drafted David Montgomery.
Yeah.
We have a couple of good receivers. Again, based on his play from last season, it seemed like Mitch was ready to take that next step.
Yeah.
And instead, he's regressed again. He's taking Mitch is my boy, but he's regressed. He's taking a step back. Matt Nagy, look, man. I don't like to, I'm not condoning a midseason firing here, but the locker room's not behind you. You're making bad decisions.
Nagy.
Look, man, you completely show your team that you have no faith in your quarterback by asking him to take a knee. Mitch could have, if you don't want him throwing, I understand. If you don't want him handing the ball off, I understand. But you can't even ask him to take a yard, go, get a little closer for your kicker. The point is you show no faith in your offense, no faith in your quarterback.
Yep.
You blew another game.
Yep.
That's on you. You don't run the ball. You got to go, Matt Nagy. Mitch, you my boy, but if you don't get it together, man, I can't even defend you.
He'll go and pack your bags.
That is my biggest disappointment. After right now we sit at 3 and 4. Packers are now pulling away. Minnesota's pulling away. Our season, unless we go on this crazy run, our season pretty much over. P.
Yeah.
Observations, man.
Obviously, going left, that's gonna be one thing that's gonna haunt that kicker. What's his name? I don't even know. But
Doesn't even matter right now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because left. You pulled it left. That was a game. I mean, there's videos online that are people burning their Bears jerseys and all that stuff because they're upset. You know what? That hurts because your record at home is 1-3. Shouldn't be 1-3. You're at home. You have a better record when you're away from home. That basically says that you guys don't care about your Chicago Bears. Your fans in Chicago. That's sad. I mean, granted, teams do better at home and away. I mean, at least the Cowboys are 3-1 at home. They actually show up for games. But with that being said, that was the big thing is that the Bears really are showing their colors. They have a lackluster offense that really needs to it needs to step up. I mean, you have weapons. Mitch needs to stop being afraid. He's pulling a Dak Prescott, which he's scared.
The season isn't over.
It's not.
Okay? We're halfway through it. A lot of things could change in a matter of a week or two.
It can.
Okay? Minnesota still has your Cowboys on the schedule. It's Kirk Cousins. It's Sunday night or it's Thursday night, whatever it is. That could be a loss, right? I mean, Green Bay again. Anything could happen. Yep. But as we stand after Week 8, there's a lot of trouble going on with that offense. We got to get it in gear. But enough about my Bears and the disappointment up to this point. Season's not over, but we're on the brink here. But as far as surprises, P.
Yeah, 49ers. I mean, no one expected them to put up 207 points and only allow people to score 77 points. That's ridiculous. I mean, I don't want to say they're the most complete team, but they're playing great. Their defense stopped my early season candidate in MVP, which was Christian McCaffrey. Like I told you, he's been leading the league in rushing because of the fact that he has to carry that team. Now, the Carolina Panthers played a real team in the 49ers, and in return, Jimmy G is Jimmy G.
San Francisco right now may have the best front seven in football, man.
Yeah.
Defensively.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, they're getting after the quarterback.
Yeah.
Their defense is not really allowing points. And on top of that, Jimmy G, he, like you said, coming back from that torn ACL, man, he's looking good.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because they are so balanced, like you said, they're bringing him along every week. It's allowing him to get healthier and healthier. And which they needed because that division is a heavyweight bout to the end. With Seattle right there, the Rams ever since they picked up Ramsey a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They won 2 in a row. So that division, but like you said, biggest surprise. I knew they were gonna be good. This good, no way. So to me, huge surprise. Give it up to the Bay Area, San Francisco. You know what? You gotta give props to that. And yeah, so I mean, as far as surprises, disappointments. I mean, of course, there's a lot, right? Washington, the Jets, and we could go on. But I'm saying as far as the biggest one stand out, San Francisco's biggest surprise.
The Colts.
In my opinion, the Colts, right after Andrew Luck, who would have seen that.
Yeah.
Huge surprise, give it up to Jacoby Brissett. That defense, they get after it. T.Y. Hilton still putting up numbers.
Yeah.
They're running the ball. So give it up to the Colts. The Jets, opposite direction. Redskins, opposite direction.
Yeah,
Miami's going for that number 1 draft pick.
Yeah. With the Bengals.
As far as individual players, anybody stick out for you, man?
I mean, we can talk for days about it. Obviously, Jimmy G, Christian McCaffrey. You got yourself other, Tom Brady. You can throw the GOAT in there, Tom Brady. I mean, truthfully, there's no one that sticks out besides Mr. Aaron Jones, Mr. 915 himself. He's putting up numbers. He's making the city of El Paso proud. He went to the University of Texas El Paso, so I'm going to give it up to Aaron Jones. Other than that...
He's being a homer on that, but, shout out.
Hey, you got to.
But Russell Wilson, I think he's doing this thing.
Yeah.
I think he's up there with, Russell Wilson, of course. Aaron and Tom Brady haven't really done too much but their teams have been really good. Their teams have been really good overall.
No, the last 2 weeks, Aaron Rodgers has been putting up numbers. Crazy numbers. Because I have him on my fantasy league, so I'm happy I got him.
Speaking of quarterbacks and the guy who, is opening up a lot of eyes on what he used to do and is going to get paid, Teddy Bridgewater. But how do you not give it up, Teddy Bridgewater, holding out that fort while Drew Brees was gone?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, too, is that Teddy did step up. He went to his prominent days when he was a killer quarterback in Minnesota. Obviously, Minnesota didn't have the pieces for him then, but now that he's there, any team can look for a quarterback. The only thing is that this guy right here, he has to step it up and realize that, you know what, I can't be a backup to Drew Brees, because Drew Brees can have another 2, 3, 4 years and he's going to ride the bench the whole time? No. I honestly think, with that being said, you know, he's going to be he's going to be a quarterback somewhere. I mean, even if it's
in Dallas.
No, he won't be in Dallas because he loves Sean Payton too much. He wants to stay with Sean because Sean gave him that chance. So we did have a question from Alex Raleigh. Thanks again.
Alex. Hey, yo.
Hey, thanks again for giving us a question so we can answer. He asks, "How good do you think Brandon Allen will be on Sunday or throughout the season?" Obviously, he's taking over from Joe Flacco, the quarterback for the Broncos. I mean, all he can do is fail. And if he does fail, you know, they have Joe in the back. But honestly, with that being said, I mean, he's been a backup in the league for a while. He's one of those guys that if he had a chance, you know...
I beg to differ, P. All he can do is go up, man. We're talking about him, you know, replacing Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, who hasn't been a decent quarterback for the last 4 years.
I think Joe Flacco's an overrated quarterback overall, period.
Exactly. So I think that Brandon Allen... Alex, I actually think Brandon Allen's going to come in and do some things just because, for one, I think that the team wasn't responding to Joe Flacco anymore. I think that the playbook doesn't suit Joe Flacco just because he's an ability. He can't move in the pocket anymore. I mean, he definitely can't throw. I mean, obviously, like he used to. That's one thing he had before because he can't move. So Brandon Allen gives you some mobility back there.
Yeah.
He buys you a little bit of time. Maybe the playbook will be a little bit more open. Yeah. And again, granted, they are in a division with, you know, the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, like you said, probably coming back in the next week or so. But it's not like look, they got the Raiders, which aren't world beaters, and the Chargers, who we didn't speak of them and the disappointments, but they got to be a disappointment because last year, you know, after the season they're now sitting at 2-6 themselves, or 3-5, whatever they are. Yeah, 3-5. So look, man, the Broncos at 2-6. In all reality, they win a couple in a row. I mean, they're kind of right there in the thick of things.
Yeah, but I mean, with the division with the Chiefs, I don't see that happening. The way the Bills are playing, the way, you know, the Patriots, the Raiders, the Raiders have been hit or miss. The Ravens, the Colts, the Texans, you know, if he can turn around the Broncos and get them to 10-6, that'd be great. I mean, he doesn't have any targets because they sent one of their best targets, Emmanuel Sanders, to San Francisco, and he tore it up this week. So I mean,
you know what? I said we weren't really gonna cover it, but no, you know what? I think we definitely it's worth. So, Alex, great question. I think Brandon Allen will be
he'll win this week. You know, he'll definitely win this week.
Is that the J&P guarantee of the week?
Let's throw it out there now. The J&P guarantee of the week is the Broncos will go and beat the Browns. Yes, the Browns.
Great segue, my friend, because that's exactly where I was going with this. I knew earlier we said we weren't really going to get into it, but you know what? Nah. After all the offseason, all we heard coming in was nothing but hype on Odell this, Browns hype this. It is now their division, as if the Ravens didn't exist in that division.
Well, I mean,
as if the Steelers didn't exist. Now, granted, they didn't foresee Big Ben going down.
Or Lamar Jackson coming out like that.
Exactly, or the Steelers. But still, all we heard all offseason was the Browns getting ready to take over that division.
Yeah.
And here we go after that. The last season they came on strong. And here they are sitting at 2-5 and looking atrocious. In reality, the guy should have been benched already a couple of weeks ago. But because it's Baker Mayfield going to, and Odell Beckham, OBJ, come on, bro. I mean, in all reality, the Browns, that hype train, I don't want to hear a single more word about the Browns, P.
You know what? I mean, I still have faith in them just because of the fact that Baker Mayfield has talent. He's not a Johnny Manziel that everyone's predicting. It's just he doesn't have a line. He really doesn't. You know, Nick Chubb is giving...
Deshaun Watson doesn't have a line. He's getting killed back there every week. And look at he's still finding a way to get it done.
Yeah, but the thing is that he also has, you know, probably the best wide receiver in the game, which they're double teaming every single game.
So OBJ now is not in that conversation?
He's not?
You can't give me that because...
Come on.
Watson is getting beat up every week, man. And he's doing things, man. Okay, your boy's getting beat up every week. Your boy. I mean, and I'm not saying they're the best, but they're 4-3.
Yeah.
I mean,
but when it comes down to it, the Browns have a chance. They just need to get their defense.
crazy.
They need to get their defense. I mean, if you look at it, the proof's in the pudding. They're not putting up points, and they're allowing everyone to run all over them. That's plain and simple. Now, the top 5 teams of the week, the J&P top 5, obviously, it's pretty much been the same for the last couple of weeks. We're going to go ahead and start off. I'll start off. Number 1, New England Patriots. Can't shy away. My number 2 is still San Francisco. Since the last time we started doing it. Number 3 is going to be the Green Bay Packers. Number 4, the New Orleans Saints. And number 5, the Baltimore Ravens. Yep, the Baltimore Ravens did show up. They did everything that they could, and they did win. So when it comes down to it, they went to Seattle. They won. Plain and simple. That's my top 5.
Great picks. I'm gonna go San Francisco number 1. Plain and simple because, in my opinion, I think right now they have the best defense in the league.
Okay.
Best front 7.
Okay.
They're doing great things.
Okay.
New England number 2. We're gonna put New England up there. I'm gonna go ahead and do the Green Bay Packers in number 3. I hate that, but it's number 3.
Aaron Rodgers, baby.
New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
Number 4. Look, man, I've been saying it all year, and I'm gonna stick with it. They're holding the fort down without the MVP of the league. The Chiefs are number 5 because as soon as Pat Mahomes gets back, they're gonna roll away with that division, man.
You're killing me, bro. You're killing me. You're gonna put a team that's lost 3 games over a team that's only lost 2?
It's quality of team, brother.
Oh,
Quality of
come
team,
on.
brother.
Come on.
Quality of team.
All right. So with that being said, that is gonna be the end of the episode for the NFL portion. This is the J&P podcast, Jocks and Geeks with J&P. I'm the P. This is the J.
Hey, yo.
Find us once again, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, J&P Podcast.
Send us your comments. Send us your tweets.
Send us anything. We answered on the air. Obviously, Alex, we got you, brother. Anything. We'll answer anything on the actual air. You can find me at AlienPStar88 on Twitter and on Instagram. Where can we find you, Julio?
Jay Heal on Twitter. And one last note before we go ahead and get out of here. Once again, this is not possible without Andy the Great producing behind the scenes. So with that, we leave you. Say goodbye to the bad guy. Hey, yo.